Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear brothers and sisters, as Salamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, I want to remind you of a very special moment, a moment that comes once in a lifetime for each of us, the third Friday of Ramadan, 2026. And there is a very precious time on this day between Zuhr and Asr when our hearts can connect with Allah in a way that brings immense mercy, forgiveness and blessings, You see, my dear friends, Fridays in Islam have always held a special significance. The Prophet ﷺ said that Friday is a day of great blessing, a day when da'wah is accepted, when hearts are close to Allah and sins are forgiven. Now imagine the blessings of Friday combined with the sacred month of Ramadan, a month of mercy, a month of forgiveness, a month when every small act of worship is multiplied many times over. And on this third Friday, Allah is calling us to reflect between Zuhr and Asr. The angels are recording every sincere word, every humble supplication, and every heartfelt plea. It is a time when your dua can be answered, when burdens can be lifted, when hearts can be healed. So what should we do during this blessed time? First, we must come to Allah with sincerity. Our dawah must not be empty words. It must come from a heart that believes in Allah's mercy. Speak to Allah as your closest friend, as the one who knows all your struggles, your weaknesses, and your hopes. Second, we should make gratitude a part of our dua. Thank Allah for the blessing of life, for health, for the ability to fast, and for the opportunity to witness another Ramadan. When we thank Allah, our hearts are filled with peace, and our dua becomes even more powerful. Third, we should seek forgiveness. Let us remember that no sin is too big for Allah's mercy. The Prophet ﷺ reminded us that Allah loves to forgive, and this is the perfect time to turn back to Him, to wash our hearts from guilt, and to start anew. And finally, make your dua practical and personal. Ask for guidance, ask for strength to improve, ask for patience, and ask for the well-being of your family, your friends, and the Ummah. Remember, Dabia is not just about asking for worldly gains, but also for a heart that is pure, a life that is righteous, and a soul that is at peace. So today, on this blessed third Friday of Ramadan, take a moment. Between Zuhr and Asr, raise your hands, speak to Allah, pour out your heart, and ask for what you truly need. Make this dua not just a ritual, but a conversation with your Creator, a moment that brings light into your heart. Remember, my brothers and sisters, the blessings of this day and this time are immense. Do not let them pass by. Make your dua sincere, make it humble, make it consistent, and trust that Allah hears every word, every sigh, every plea. May Allah accept our fasting, our prayers, our dajjas, and our efforts in this blessed month. May He forgive our sins, grant us mercy, and make us among those who emerge from Ramadan with hearts renewed and souls purified. Ameen. The third Friday of Ramadan holds a special place in the hearts of believers because it is a moment where the blessings of Friday and the sacredness of Ramadan intersected in a unique way. Friday itself has always been a day of immense significance in Islam. The Prophet ﷺ described it as the best day of the week, a day when angels descend, prayers are accepted and hearts are closer to Allah. It is a day when Muslims gather for congregational prayer, when the khutbah reminds them of the purpose of life, and when the soul is given a chance to reconnect with its Creator. Ramadan, on the other hand, is a month like no other. It is a month of mercy, of forgiveness, of reflection, and of spiritual rejuvenation. Every act of worship, every fast, every prayer, and every good deed carries a multiplied reward during this sacred month. When these two come together, when Friday falls in Ramadan, the spiritual significance is amplified. The third Friday is especially noteworthy because by this time, the initial enthusiasm of Ramadan has often matured into deeper reflection. The first 10 days may have been a period of awakening and preparation, and the second 10 days a time of building spiritual strength. The third Friday, therefore, comes at a moment when a believer has already invested effort, has felt the discipline of fasting, and has experienced the serenity of prayer, making the heart more receptive to divine mercy. On this day, believers are encouraged to make sincere dawah, to reflect on their progress in Ramadan, and to renew their commitment to living a life that is pleasing to Allah. The Prophet ﷺ emphasized the importance of seeking Allah's forgiveness and mercy, and Fridays in Ramadan provide a perfect opportunity for this. The third Friday is also a reminder that time in Ramadan is precious and fleeting. Each Friday carries unique blessings, But as the month progresses, it serves as a gentle nudge to increase devotion, to mend relationships, to purify the heart, and to make the most of every moment before Ramadan comes to a close. It is a day that calls for both reflection and action. The significance of this day is not just in its timing, but in the spiritual potential it carries. It is a time when the heart is softened, when rujua is more likely to be sincere, and when believers can experience closeness to Allah that is both comforting and transformative. Moreover, the third Friday reminds us that the journey of Ramadan is not only about individual devotion, but also about community. The collective remembrance of Allah, the shared prayers, and the mutual encouragement to do good amplify the spiritual atmosphere. Being aware of this special Friday encourages believers to prepare, to focus on their inner state, and to make their duyas heartfelt and meaningful. In essence, the third Friday of Ramadan is a day of immense spiritual opportunity. It represents a convergence of time, devotion, and divine mercy. It is a moment to pause, reflect, and reconnect. By recognizing its significance, believers can harness the blessings of both Friday and Ramadan, allowing this day to become a milestone in their spiritual journey, a time to seek forgiveness, express gratitude, and make dua that touches the heart and uplifts the soul. Those who understand and act upon the significance of this day find themselves closer to Allah, spiritually rejuvenated, and motivated to continue their journey through Ramadan with sincerity and devotion. There is a very special period in every Friday, a moment that carries immense spiritual weight, and that is the time between Zuhr and Asr. This period is a window of opportunity, a time when the hearts of believers are closest to Allah, and when duas are especially beloved in His sight. The Prophet ﷺ has informed us that there is a time on Friday when a servant asks Allah for something, and Allah surely grants it. Scholars explain that this time occurs after the Zuhr prayer and before the Asr prayer, and it is a moment when one's sincerity, humility, and attentiveness can make a remarkable difference in the acceptance of dua. This time is not just a ritualistic interval between two prayers. It is a spiritual portal, a chance to pause from worldly distractions and turn fully towards our Creator. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, we often underestimate the power of these brief, sacred moments. Yet Friday in Ramadan, especially this third Friday, provides a unique opportunity. The combination of the blessed day and the holy months multiplies the spiritual potential of this period, making it a time when hearts can feel lighter, sins can be forgiven, and blessings can be poured down upon the believer. During this interval, one should not merely recite dua mechanically, but approach it with a heart that is conscious, humble, and sincere. The power of this time lies in awareness, being fully present before Allah, acknowledging His mercy, and turning to Him with both hope and fear. It is a time for reflection on one's actions, a moment to consider the blessings we often take for granted, and an opportunity to seek guidance for the challenges that lie ahead. One of the most beautiful aspects of this period is its accessibility. No matter who you are, where you are, or what you are doing, this time is open to every believer. It requires no special ritual beyond turning the heart towards Allah, raising one's hands in supplication, and speaking to Him sincerely. It is a reminder that spirituality is not about complexity, but about connection, about sincerity, and about turning to Allah with the heart rather than merely the tongue. For those who take advantage of this blessed time, the benefits are manifold. Hearts find peace, worries are alleviated, and spiritual energy is renewed. This moment allows a believer to reset, to reconnect with purpose, and to realign their actions with faith. It is a pause from worldly concerns, a chance to prioritize the eternal over the temporary. In Ramadan, when fasting has already trained the believer in patience and mindfulness, the period between Zuhr and Asr becomes even more powerful. It is a time when one can make data not just for oneself, but for family, for friends, for the Ummah, and for the guidance of the entire world. It is a time to ask for mercy, forgiveness, and blessings, knowing that Allah's generosity is limitless. In essence, the period between Zuhr and Asr is a sacred gift, a few hours that can transform a believer's week, a believer's Ramadan, and even a believer's life. Those who recognize its importance approach it with focus and intention, realizing that this is a time when Allah is closest, when angels are present, and when dua has the highest chance of acceptance. It is a reminder to all of us that spirituality is about timing, awareness, and sincerity. by dedicating ourselves to worship and do during this window, especially on this third Friday of Ramadan, we can experience a closeness to Allah that nourishes the heart, purifies the soul, and strengthens our connection to Him in ways that carry forward into every day that follows. The power of dawah is one of the most beautiful and profound aspects of our relationship with Allah. Du'a is not simply a ritual, it is a direct connection between the servant and the Creator. It is a private conversation, a heartfelt plea, and a sincere expression of need, gratitude, hope, or repentance. The Prophet ﷺ reminded us that du'a is the essence of worship, and it is the weapon of the believer. It is the tool through which hearts are purified, burdens are lightened, and faith is strengthened. Many people underestimate the power of dua, thinking that it is only effective for worldly matters or that it requires grand gestures. But the reality is that dawah is a reflection of the heart, and its impact depends on the sincerity, humility, and awareness of the person making it. When we raise our hands to Allah, when we whisper our fear, as hopes and desires, we are engaging in an act of worship that carries immense weight. Du'a is a manifestation of our reliance on Allah, our acknowledgement of His power, and our submission to His will. It is an expression of our weakness and His strength, our need and His generosity, our longing and His mercy during Ramadan, and especially on special moments like the third Friday between Zuhr and Asr. The power of dua is magnified. The fasting itself softens the heart, increases mindfulness, and brings a sense of humility. When combined with sincere supplication, it becomes a moment where the veil between the heart and Allah feels thinner, where our words are heard, and where our hearts can experience a profound sense of peace. The Prophet ﷺ said that dua does not merely change circumstances, it changes the person who prays. Through dua, we cultivate patience, resilience, gratitude, and trust in Allah's wisdom. It teaches us to accept life's trials with dignity, to find hope in times of despair, and to approach challenges with faith rather than fear. Du'a is not limited by distance, time, or social status. It is accessible to all, rich or poor, young or old, learned or unlettered. Allah is near to every heart that calls upon Him sincerely. No obstacle can prevent a believer's dua from reaching Allah, and no plea is too small or too insignificant. The power of dua also lies in its versatility. We can ask for forgiveness, for guidance, for protection, for health, for the well-being of our family, for the betterment of society, and for spiritual elevation. We can express gratitude for blessings, seek comfort during distress, or simply speak to Allah in intimate honesty. Every word, every whisper, every tear carries meaning. What makes dua truly powerful is the combination of sincerity, persistence, and trust. A dua made half-heartedly, without reflection or hope may not reach the depth it could, but a dua made with a heart that truly believes in Allah's mercy, that is persistent despite hardships, and that trusts in His wisdom, has the potential to transform lives. On this third Friday of Ramadan, between Zuhr and Asr, believers are reminded that their dua is not just an act of asking, but a profound act of worship. It is an opportunity to reflect on one's relationship with Allah, to express dependence on Him, and to seek His mercy in a time when acceptance is highly likely. Those who understand this power approach du'a with care, mindfulness, and humility. They realize that it is not merely words spoken, it is a dialogue with the most merciful, a moment when hearts open, burdens lift, and the soul finds comfort. Truly, the power of dua is limitless. It has the ability to change circumstances, transform hearts, and elevate the soul. It is a gift from Allah to His servants, a constant reminder that no matter our struggles or successes, we always have a direct line to our Creator, one that can bring solace, hope, and guidance when we turn to it sincerely. Gratitude and reflection are two of the most powerful tools a believer can use to strengthen their faith and draw closer to Allah. In the busy pace of life, it is easy to overlook the countless blessings that surround us every day. Yet Ramadan, and particularly moments like the third Friday, invite us to pause, to take stock, and to recognize the mercy and generosity of our Creator. Gratitude is more than a polite acknowledgement. It is a state of the heart, a conscious awareness that everything we have, our health, our family, our sustenance, our guidance, is a gift from Allah. When we engage in gratitude, we do not just thank Allah in words, but we affirm with our hearts that He is the source of all goodness. Reflection complements gratitude because it allows us to examine our lives, our actions, and our intentions. It is an opportunity to step back and consider how we are living, whether our deeds align with our faith, and whether we are truly making the most of the precious time granted to us. The third Friday of Ramadan is particularly suited for this because by this point in the month, we have already spent days in fasting, prayer, and contemplation. It is a natural moment to ask ourselves, have I grown closer to Allah? Have I shown kindness and patience to others? Have I taken advantage of the opportunities of this blessed month to purify my heart and strengthen my character? Reflection allows the believer to identify areas of improvement, to acknowledge shortcomings, and to make sincere resolutions. It encourages self-awareness, humility, and the willingness to change. This, combined with gratitude, creates a heart that is soft, sincere, and receptive to Allah's guidance and mercy. During this time, believers are encouraged to reflect not only on material blessings, but also on spiritual ones. The ability to pray, to fast, to seek knowledge, to remember Allah. These are privileges that many take for granted. By contemplating these blessings, a believer develops a deeper appreciation for life, an awareness of Allah's generosity, and a commitment to use these gifts in ways that are pleasing to Him. Gratitude and reflection also strengthen patience and contentment. When we acknowledge the countless blessings in our lives, our focus shifts away from what we lack and toward what we have been given. This perspective fosters inner peace, reduces envy and frustration, and cultivates a sense of satisfaction with Allah's decree. On this special third Friday, reflecting on the month so far allows the believer to assess progress in worship, in character, and in relationships. It is a time to rejoice in improvements, seek forgiveness for their mistakes, and make sincere intentions for the remainder of Ramadan. In doing so, our duas become more heartfelt, more meaningful, and more aligned with our true spiritual needs. Importantly, gratitude and reflection are not passive acts. They inspire action. A grateful heart seeks to give back, to help others, to share blessings, and to engage in good deeds. Reflection inspires change, prompting the believer to strengthen faith, improve behavior, and deepen their relationship with Allah. The combination of these two qualities transforms Ramadan from a mere ritual into a profound journey of the heart and soul. Truly, when a believer pauses on this third Friday to reflect on their life and express sincere gratitude to Allah, they are participating in a timeless practice of the prophets and the righteous. It is a moment when the heart opens to mercy, when clarity replaces confusion, and when the soul is renewed. Gratitude and reflection elevate worship from routine to heartfelt connection, allowing the believer to experience Ramadan not just as a month of fasting, but as a season of transformation, growth, and spiritual awakening. Forgiveness and mercy are among the most beautiful and transformative aspects of our relationship with Allah. Every believer at some point in life feels the weight of mistakes, regrets, and shortcomings. These feelings can burden the heart, create anxiety, and distance the soul from true peace. But Allah, in His infinite wisdom and compassion, offers a way to release this burden through forgiveness. Ramadan, and particularly moments like the third Friday between Zuhr and Asr, is a time when Allah's mercy is abundant, a time when He draws near to His servants ready to forgive and heal. The Prophet ﷺ reminded us that Allah loves to forgive, and that He forgives even the gravest of sins for those who sincerely turn to Him. This is a reassurer. Not a bit low nays for the believer. No matter how heavy the past, no matter how frequent the mistakes, Allah's door remains open. Seeking forgiveness is not just about absolving ourselves of sin. It is about purifying the heart, restoring the spirit, and aligning our actions with the path of righteousness. It is an acknowledgement that we are human, fallible, and in need of divine guidance. When a believer turns to Allah with sincerity, humility, and remorse, the act of seeking forgiveness becomes a transformative experience, It washes away guilt, renews hope, and creates a sense of closeness to Allah that cannot be found elsewhere. Mercy is the companion of forgiveness. While forgiveness clears the slate of past mistakes, mercy nurtures the heart, strengthens faith, and encourages the believer to move forward with renewed determination. Allah's mercy is not limited by time, space, or circumstance. It is vast, encompassing, and available to all who seek it sincerely. The third Friday of Ramadan, a blessed day, provides an opportunity to deeply experience both forgiveness and mercy. As believers raise their hands in dua between Zuhr and Asr, they can ask Allah not only to forgive their sins, but to shower them with mercy in every aspect of life, in health, in sustenance, in relationships, and in faith. This dual act of seeking forgiveness and embracing mercy transforms Ramadan from a period of fasting into a period of inner renewal. It is a reminder that spirituality is not merely about abstaining from food or performing rituals. It is about cleansing the soul, softening the heart, and reconnecting with Allah in a profound and personal way. True forgiveness begins with honesty before Allah, with recognizing mistakes without excuses, and with pledging to improve. It is an act that requires courage and sincerity, and when this is combined with an awareness of Allah's mercy, the believer finds reassurance, peace, and the renewed sense of purpose. Forgiveness and mercy also extend beyond the personal relationship with Allah. They teach the believer to forgive others, to show compassion, and to embody the same mercy that is so readily available from the Creator. Ramadan is a training ground for this behavior. As we seek Allah's forgiveness, we are reminded to forgive those who have wronged us, to let go of grudges, and to spread kindness in every interaction. On this special Third Friday, reflection on forgiveness and mercy can be particularly powerful. By contemplating Allah's mercy, the believer understands that no mistake is too great to be forgiven, no heart too hardened to be softened, and no life too burdened to be uplifted. This inspires hope, gratitude, and renewed dedication to worship. Truly, embracing forgiveness and mercy is a journey of transformation. It lifts the spirit, purifies the heart, and brings the believer closer to the ultimate goal, closeness to Allah. On this blessed day, between Zuhr and Asr, let every believer make dua with sincerity, asking for forgiveness, embracing mercy, and committing to a life that reflects the compassion, humility, and devotion that Allah loves to see. In doing so, the soul is refreshed, the heart is lightened, and the Ramadan becomes a time not just of fasting, but of profound spiritual awakening. Practical advice is what turns inspiration into action. While we understand the importance of Ramadan, the significance of Fridays, and the value of dua, it is only when these concepts are applied in our daily lives that they truly transform us. The blessed Third Friday, and particularly the time between Zuhr and Asr, offers an ideal opportunity to translate knowledge into meaningful practice. The first step in making dua and worship effective is sincerity. Our intentions must be clear and focus solely on seeking the pleasure of Allah. It is not enough to go through the motions or to recite words without meaning. A heartfelt dua, even if brief, can move mountains in the spiritual realm, while a long but insincere one may carry little value. Therefore, before raising our hands, we must take a moment to calm the mind, focus the heart, and approach Allah with humility and devotion. Second, consistency is key. While a single act of worship is rewarded, forming habits that bring us closer to Allah ensures that the benefits continue long after the specific moment has passed. This could include setting aside regular times for dua each day, maintaining mindfulness in prayer, reading Quran consistently, or engaging in acts of kindness and charity. The time between Zuhr and Asr on this Third Friday is a reminder that even brief moments, if used wisely and sincerely, can have enormous spiritual impact. Another practical step is to personalize our dua. Instead of reciting generic phrases, we should speak to Allah as we would to a trusted friend, mentioning our struggles, our hopes, and the challenges we face. By articulating our needs clearly and with honesty, our dua becomes more meaningful and our connection with Allah deepens. Gratitude should also be an integral part of practical action. Every dua should begin with acknowledgement of Allah's blessings. By expressing thanks for health, guidance, family, sustenance, and the opportunity to witness another Ramadan, our hearts are softened, our perspective is renewed, and our prayers become richer. Alongside gratitude, we must engage in reflection. Practical advice is incomplete without self-assessment. We should ask ourselves whether our actions align with our intentions, whether our words and behavior reflect our faith, and whether we are improving in character, patience, and compassion. Reflection turns routine worship into conscious, meaningful engagement with Allah. Additionally, practical advice involves balancing personal needs with concern for others. While it is natural to ask for personal guidance, health, or sustenance, we should also include dua for family, community, and the wider ummah. This cultivates a sense of responsibility, empathy, and connection that elevates our worship from self-centered to heart-centered. Finally, patience and trust are essential practical elements. We may not see immediate results from our dua, but we must trust that Allah hears every word, every sigh, and every plea. Persistence in dawah combined with faith that Allah's response is perfect and timely strengthens resilience, builds spiritual maturity, and deepens our reliance on Him. On this third Friday of Ramadan, believers are reminded that practical advice is what makes spirituality real. It is about sincerity, consistency, personalization, gratitude, reflection, empathy, and trust. When these principles are applied, the moments between Zuhr and Asr become transformative, our du'a becomes powerful, and our connection with Allah is strengthened in a tangible, life-changing way. By implementing these practical steps, believers do not merely observe a ritual, they engage in a meaningful, conscious relationship with their Creator. One that enriches the heart, purifies the soul, and elevates every action toward eternal reward. In essence, practical advice bridges the gap between knowledge and action, turning understanding into transformation and moments of devotion into lifelong spiritual growth. My dear brothers and sisters, as we reflect on the significance of this blessed third Friday of Ramadan, we are reminded of the immense mercy, guidance, and blessings that Allah has bestowed upon us. Every moment of this day, especially the time between Zuhr and Asr, an opportunity, a chance to turn our hearts toward Allah, to make sincere dua, to seek forgiveness, to express gratitude, and to renew our commitment to living a life that pleases Him. Let us not allow these precious moments to pass without reflection, without intention, and without action. Let our dawah be sincere, our hearts humble, and our intentions pure. Let us remember that Allah's mercy is vast, His forgiveness is abundant, and His love is closer to us than our own heartbeat. May we emerge from this blessed day with our souls lightened, our faith strengthened, and our hearts connected more deeply to the One who created us. And may every prayer, every supplication, every moment of reflection, and every act of gratitude we offer today be accepted, multiplied, and rewarded in ways that bring peace to our hearts and blessings to our lives. Indeed, this is the beauty of Ramadan, the beauty of Friday, and the beauty of turning to Allah with sincerity. May Allah make us among those who seize these precious moments, who benefit from His mercy, and who walk away spiritually renewed, confident in His love, and steadfast in our faith. Ameen.